as we move from the Talmudic period to the Geonic period, I think you had referenced this before, can one trace the development of Kabbalah and during the Geonic period?
Yeah, so again, it depends what you mean. If you mean the Sefirot exactly as later Kabbalistic texts describe them, then no. If you mean Sefer Yetzirah, then there's plenty of interest of at the very tail end of the Geonic period, there's interest in Sefer Yetzirah. Beyond that, there's a lot of interest in Hechalot literature. The Cairo Gniza, which has a lot of material from the Geonic period, is full of texts from Hechalot literature that I just mentioned. Hai Gaon, who's also at the tail end of the Geonic period, has tshuvot about Hechalot material. There's also interest in more magical material, what later on gets called Kabbalah Ma'asit, practical Kabbalah. A lot of that material as well in the Cairo Gniza.
And then moving down to the period after the Geonic period, the Rishonim, I guess you would call that what, 12th, 13th, 14th century? Is that the period? And so any reference to Kabbalah, to the Zohar by this time? Or, for example, does Nachmanides, the Ramban, when he talks about Sod, secrets, are we again talking about something that's a Kabbalistic tradition, or again, Maseh Breshit, creation, etc.?
Yeah, so the Ramban is certainly talking about Kabbalah in the technical sense of the Kabbalah of the Sefirot. He's a slightly younger contemporary of the first authors of Kabbalistic literature. They all lived in the same city, the city of Gerona, where Ramban also lived, before he immigrated to Eretz Yisrael. These are figures like Ezra ben Shlomo of Gerona, Azriel of Gerona. A little bit earlier on, Yitzhak Sagi Nahor, and his father Avram ben David. These figures either wrote Kabbalistic works, so we're at the end of the 12th, beginning of the 13th century, or if they didn't write themselves, certainly their students recorded their ideas in their names, and here we're dealing clearly with Kabbalistic ideas about the Sefirot. The Zohar is not known until a little bit later on. From a Kabbalistic point of view, from a traditional point of view, assuming a traditional authorship, you'd say it wasn't known. From an academic point of view, you would say it wasn't composed. But it's not referenced, let's say, until the very beginning, or very around the turn of the 14th century. Around the turn of the 14th century is where you first get references to the Zohar. And then after that, there are, numerous references to the Zohar going forward.